What's up, Blue Collar Millionaires? We're back. We have our friend Charlie LaRue. He is a entrepreneur, contractor, ERC specialist, doing a lot of big things. I met him down at the DM Alliance. I've been following him for a long time. Super positive guy. Got a ton of energy. Charlie, thanks for coming on.
Good to have you, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.
So, Charlie, tell us about what you're doing these days, and what you've done, how long you've been an entrepreneur, and how you got started.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, so these days I'm doing general contracting mainly is my primary focus. I do a lot of real estate investing and real estate development, as well as ERC. As we know, it's a really great opportunity right now, being on the affiliate side. I love that because I'm able to help business owners get the money, right? In the blue collar world, to be able to receive $100,000, it's like, whoa, free money.
Absolutely.
So not only does it help me receive some money, but, I'm also helping other people. So that's great. And, I also just recently got involved in this business buying thing like you guys are. And I purchased a sneaker company. So
Nice.
I haven't operated that stayed in. So we're doing some retail and some e-commerce stuff for high-end sneakers. So it's really interesting.
What got you? We'll get to those. So, what got you into the sneaker business? I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. So my kids, to be really honest, I have a 10 and 11-year-old son, and they love these sneakers. Now, me, I don't know. I have cowboy boots and some flip-flops, right? I'm not a big sneaker guy. My kids are always talking sneakers, and they enjoy it a lot. So we started going and buying them some and looking at it. Next thing you know, one of the sneaker store guys heard about the way I was operating business. And he was like, man, I bet you could do so much for my company. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I don't know a thing about sneakers. He was like, but I do. Long story short, we kept meeting him. I saw him every week or every month. And my kids were like, Dad, I'd love to come to the store. We wind up having conversations. I said, hey, I can add value in marketing and scalability and all these things. He said, hey, I love to operate. I can stay operate. You show me what to do. We met in the middle, and I now own a sneaker company.
Wow. I love that story.
I love that story. That's like earned in equity. It's like if you have talent and people see it and they feel like you can make them money, you can get involved in businesses. Yeah, sneakers is a moneymaker. And kids love sneakers now. I mean, they did when I grew up. I just watched the Jordan movie. I went and saw that because back in 1984, I saw those Air Jordan. I could not believe them. I wanted them so bad. I told my mom one, and she goes, all right, we'll get them. Then we found out they were $65. I remember my mom's line. She was like, no, we buy sneakers for $25 in this house. And she was like,
too.
So I'll pay $25 and you'll pay $40. It wasn't like, give me 10. It was like, in this house. So I was like, shit, I had to go make the money. And I brought them to school. I thought it was the coolest thing. Exactly. And now one of my stepkids, she's like a sneakerhead. She loves Air Jordans and everything. She did something, got really good grades. I said, I'll get you any pair of sneakers you want. I bring her over to the Foot Locker. I mean, she was like in heaven. She got them and everything. And she says to me, could you buy 2 pairs of sneakers in here right now? I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, could you buy 3? She thought it was like her goal in life. She was like, tell me if you could buy every pair of sneakers in here right now. And I was like, I don't know. And then she was like, that's her goal in life, is to be able to go in Foot Locker and just buy the whole. These kids are crazy about sneakers. But there is a big money mix. Yeah, I'm trying to get her to do like flip sneakers. You look at them all. Every time I look at you on Instagram, you're on them. So might as well make money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing with my kids now too. So I was doing a general contracting company. I talked to them about ROI and all these different things throughout life, right? Like I love entrepreneurship. So I've been teaching my kids, this is the perfect way in. Like, I don't know. These ones are the ones they told me to get because they're blue or whatever. I don't even know what they are, but my son was like, listen, Dad, you can get those at whatever it is. And in a month, they're supposed to be at this. I'm like, you know what? Let's roll with it. And now they're actually making investments and they're doing these things. So it's really, really neat to be involved with my kids on an everyday basis when it comes to investing and life lessons. So it's awesome.
Dude, so tell me how you brought I want to dive in for your partnership real quick. So you said, hey, I can come in and help market this. So tell me some of the things that you're going to be doing to help increase the value for that. I'm assuming this is a brick and mortar. You said you walked in with your kids. Y'all went and visited. I don't know if he had an online presence before or not, but are you doing direct marketing? What's some of the strategies that you're implementing to help?
Exactly. So this is where it got awesome for me. When I said, all right, great, I'd love to help you scale. Like, what do you got going on? Like, show me your CRM. Let me see your back end. How much are you spending on marketing? How much are you spending on ads? How many emails are you sending out a month? What type of SMS campaigns are you running? What are you doing with the local mall? What charities are you in? What communities? The answer was nothing. I'm doing nothing. And I've said, wait, you're doing all that revenue, all of that, and you've not sent a text message, sent an email, done any direct mails, reached out to other school systems, you've done none of that. And he said, no, he doesn't even know what a CRM means. So no disrespect to him. He was working in the business, not on the business. We've all been victim to this, right? And so I said, man, oh man, can I help? So right off the bat, it was, what do we have and what are we going to approach and do? So right off the bat, we built out the CRM system. So it is a brick and mortar. We did some nice renovations. We're actually doing that right now. So to get a nice new fresh look inside of there. We did a capital infusion so we can get more products inside. And I'm starting to do a lot more marketing on the back end. We actually just started like a refund thing, which no sneakerheads allow refunds, but I love it. If the sneakers work, you bring them in the same condition, we'll give you your money back. Spend money here. A lot of parents are intimidated by spending the $300, $400, $500, knowing that you're not gonna be able to get your money back, or if your wife goes to buy something for you and you might not like it. So I started doing little things like that just to show the community side of it. As well as reach out to marketing and ads and email campaigns and SMS campaigns and sending up consigners and affiliate programs and a lot of different things. So I could take it really big. It's just I want to be very systematic with the growth right off the bat.
Sure. So what's one thing that you're doing digitally that's in the process or are currently active for it? Did you start the email yet? What ads did you go towards? Did you do Facebook ads? Did you go for Google ads?
So we're starting with the Facebook area because he only had around 100 and something followers on Facebook. One of the really crazy things is he's almost monetized on YouTube. I believe he has like 30,000 followers on YouTube and thousands of hours of views. So really big YouTube following and a good amount on Instagram too, but yet never any approach to them to try and monetize it. So that's where we're going immediately was we hired a professional model and a really good videographer, shot some more content, going to do more of the Facebook direct ads and Instagram ads, as well as YouTube, getting the YouTube platform, hopefully to monetization really soon.
Nice. Dude, I love it, man. I love it. This is exciting. I like it. It's super cool that you were able to connect that with your kids' interest, and now y'all it became a family kind of situation. That's very cool.
Yeah, it is amazing. And it's totally different for me too. We do general contracting and other things I'll get into as well. But this is super neat. I have a storefront. It's so positive in there and happy and the music's on and you're selling stuff. Like it is completely different than what I do in this type of world every day.
Right.
I love it.
And it's a total win for you because you're going to use your skill set. We all just saw that when you just ran through all that stuff. You're like, you're going to kill it on this. Be totally different if you had to be there opening the door and stocking shelves and everything. And then it's a drag. I don't want to do this.
No, not at all. No. I love it. And I said, listen, I'm not an operations guy. I'm a visionary. I like the ideas. Listen, I'll get my hands dirty, of course. Right. But I don't want to operate it. And he was like, no, I love this. He's addicted to sneakers. He's done it forever. We have a very similar story, which is really interesting. And we can get into my backstory in a little bit, but I was a career fireman and I left after 8 years, knowing that I was an entrepreneur and I'm victim to not sleeping home with my kids and doing those things in my family. Long story short, he was in law enforcement for 12 years and realized, hey, I can't do this anymore. I'm not with my kids. I'm not home. I need to leave. So we both took this crazy leap of faith in the civil service world and then left on a whim after we had our hero job and our dream job. We both up and left and now we're together, but we never would have thought that. And when I heard of him starting the store, everyone said, Nick, are you crazy? Like 12 years, you only got like 8-10 years left and you can retire. And he's like, yeah, I have 10 years left, And I'm so proud of him for doing it. I gave him kudos. And it's just weird how 2 years later, I'm infused in his business now. It literally gives me the chills.
That's awesome.
It's exciting.
Charlie, where were you a fireman?
I was a Department of Defense fireman. So I was an Army fireman at an Army base here in New Jersey, Fort Monmouth Fire Department. Yes.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So
You've been from that part of New Jersey your whole life?
Born and raised right here, Highlands, New Jersey. It's not even 1 square mile. It's about 3,000, 4,000 occupants. We did just hit $1 billion in appraised value, which is cool. That's a nice thing for us. This was like a clamming, crabbing, fishing community for many, many years. Very blue collar, right? Very, very hardworking, and not really the land of opportunity for the beginning. New York City's in really close proximity, so everyone left here to go there to make money instead of realizing what we kind of have right around us and capitalizing. So yeah, I'm born and raised right here at Highlands.
Yeah, because I'm born and raised in Somerset County. I lived there for 40 years. I just moved 10 years ago. Yeah, I love it. I miss going down there. So Charlie, what are you doing? I saw you building. Are you building a home right there? Was that what you were doing? You knocked down a home and you're building one?
Yeah. So my general contracting company is here. We've been here for 12, 13 years now. And we do everything from handyman service all the way up to new construction, mixed use, commercial properties. So from the smallest little thing all the way into the biggest, we do all those. So yeah, what you've seen is probably one of the most recent complete demolition of a home and new construction rebuilds.
So do you have W-2 or 1099s or a mix? How's your team set up?
A mixture of both. We like to have approximately, and my office is my favorite. It has been since day one. So I've always had office employees. They keep the world turning for us, right? So I always have W-2 in my office, and then we keep about 8 to 10 guys employed at all times. And then I have, 30 to 50 1099 subcontractors that work with us also.
So how are you getting your work in, since you are so diversified in your types of services, and how are you maintaining quality when you do service those jobs?
Yeah, so we take a very systematic approach to everything. I want a template or a system or a follow-up for everything in my life. My team must hate me because I'm like, where's the template? Where's what we created? In the fire department service, we're taught SOPs and SOGs, right? And that is my world. There's 3 things I want: come to work on time, and do your job. Outside of that, just follow the SOPs that we created, and everything should flow from there. So my whole world is built out on systems, and I think that's really key. So we use, CRM, we use Go High Level, which is really, really key for us, because when the clients come in, we've automated the estimation process where they can go on my website and fill out their own estimate, intake, book their own calendar, and do everything without even communicating with us. So someone might be all the way booked through without even talking to me. I go the first time, I meet and greet them. When I go back, the automations are coming through. The systems are really good. There's an open line of communication, and it just really helps me be diligent in getting things accomplished because we have a system for everything.
That's awesome. So your subcontractors that you're bringing in, what type of services are you bringing subcontractors in, choosing to go that route compared to use your in-house?
Yeah, so my in-house guys will do pretty much of everything that we need to, but on a smaller scale. If we're going to build a new construction home, of course I could do the foundation, but it's not going to make sense for us. So we'll sub out the foundation, the framing, things like that. The larger sheetrock and insulation, we will sub. And then when it comes to licensing protocols, we of course would hire licensed people. So the electric, the plumbing, the HVAC, the sprinkler systems, architects, engineers, guys like that, we would bring in on the 1099 side that we weren't licensed to accomplish.
So do you carry the general contractor's license for your company?
We do, yes. Yeah, so we have general contractor and home improvement contractor here. We carry workers' comp, and we have the highest insurance possible, so we could do those commercial jobs, the municipality jobs. We do a lot of community-based stuff and commercial stuff, so we are are licensed and insured pretty much for everything that we can.
But you physically don't have the GC license. You've got a team member within your company that carries that license for the company.
No, I do.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, we have it, as well as real estate licensing is myself as well.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Charlie, you do kitchens?
We do kitchens and bathrooms.
All right, I got a job for you. My mom is in Manasquan.
Awesome.
I told her I was going to get her kitchen done. I gave it to her. She's 83, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm telling her to find somebody, because I just got so much to do, and it's been dragging forever. We were talking about it like 3 weeks ago. That would make me feel so comfortable if you were doing it.
I would take care of it for you.
Yeah, I know you would. I'm going to tell you, because I'm getting my basement done right now. I keep hitting a mute because it's so loud. And this guy is so organized. I never saw a contractor like this. It's like how you were saying. He was a guy who was in the Army. He everything, they started exactly the same time every morning. He's he does everything he says. And when he was doing the proposal, before I even opened it, I knew I was using him. I swear it could have been 20 grand more. I was going to use him because I had another guy. I called this guy 3 times for the proposal. Have you ever seen that where if you can't get a proposal from someone on time, you think they're going to do your job on time?
True. Right. We struggle with that.
Yeah. I don't even know why I was sweating them. I was just wanted to get a few prices, but that's what part of the reason we made this group, right? Blue collar guys, be on time, be organized, do exactly what you say you can do, communicate that to people. You will have so much work. You won't know what to do with it. And then the referrals go tenfold because everybody likes that. I will refer. This guy gave me 10 references. I called through 2 of them. I never had 2 people talk so well about somebody, a contractor. I stopped right there. I'm like, this is a wrap.
Yes.
And then you ever call other people, they're they think very differently. It's these trade fields. If you do that, you're going to make so much money.
Yes. Yeah. When I say to people that we have, I hate to say 100% customer satisfaction, but that's because at the end of the day, shit happens. We know that. We're human. We're blue collar, right? This is life. Stuff's going to happen. But how do you approach it after that, right? We have to come to some sort of fair place. We have to understand the problem. We have to create a solution, and we have to shake hands. I'm an honest guy. As I said, it's a small community. I want you to be able to come to my office and talk to me and get through these things. So at the end of it, no matter what, I need to make it right. This is life. So we openly communicate about exactly what they're going to get. We exceed expectations every single time just based on our systems. Yeah. And as you mentioned, the referrals are just amazing. I send out a quick text message to people through Go High Level and say, hey, look, if you haven't had a chance, please share this out to some of the people that you know and just tell about our services. Within the next 2-3 days, we have 10, 20 phone calls. That's free marketing for sure. It's just based on word of mouth, and we're blessed with that.
People like to tell people about good people. They really do.
It's abnormal.
When I feel really confident about someone, I want to connect people with that person. If you feel a little iffy, you'll never do it.
Absolutely.
I believe if you've got a good product, you can not be so great at marketing and sales, and you will still see increase in your company just because of the word of mouth that will build up from your good product. So meaning product or service. And it sounds like that's exactly what you've built in. And I love that. Another thing that you just hit on is the fact that you respond very quickly to problems. You don't run away from them. And that is right the opposite of the most of the blue collar industry. When there's a problem, they immediately hit the denial button instead of walking straight into it and say, what is it going to take to get this fixed? Because your satisfaction at the end of the day is what matters to me most. And I've had some of the biggest cheerleaders because we had a hiccup, and then I responded very quickly and I took the hit so that I can make sure, because at the end of the day, if there is a hiccup, it's on us. We didn't set expectation correctly. We didn't have good enough systems. Something went down on us as a leader that we now need to improve, and we need to take the hit on this one so that we can move forward and do better next. Yeah.
Right.
So what's your thought processes on the economy changing? Everybody's, preaching recession. We're in recession. Recession is coming. Interest rates are going up. The expectation of new construction is going to go down. Do you have any thoughts about where you're at? Are you thinking about trying to pivot? Or are you already sitting in a situation where you're ready to weather any economy, no matter what it looks like?
Yeah, luckily being in circles like we are together here and knowing these things, we kind of knew this was coming a little bit, right? Like we paid attention, we prepared ourselves for certain things. So that's number one is, I have a lot of fix and flip things that we've done. Also, I have a lot of rental properties and, I did a lot of burst strategy and was sitting on a lot of equity. And as everyone was saying, Charlie, like equity rich, cash poor might not be good next year. I kind of offloaded a little bit and prepared myself for some of those things. Thank the Lord, because some of the work did slow down a little bit. Like just for say we were doing 10 new construction estimates a week, it might be 5 now or things, right? The work is still there because we are qualified and, we are referred all the time, but it is slowing down a little bit. I did take some steps already to get myself in a position where I'm not relying on as many people. As I mentioned to you guys, I do a lot of real estate investing on my own as well. So instead of waiting for customers to come through the doors, I'm now being more proactive in my real estate searches. So I'm feeding the real estate side when it comes to investing and making money on that end, as well as the general contracting side, hiring my team and my subs to do the stuff that's just for my real estate portfolio. So instead of relying on that income through others, I'm actually just relying on it through income through that product of real estate investing. So I did pivot a little. We are also in a very wealthy area right now because Superstorm Sandy came in 2012 and wiped the entire town out. Really sad because, obviously I live here, all my family and friends did, and we all lost everything we've ever had. Wow. After that, it took many years to start to get back in the positive mindset about those things. But now, property that was once 400,000 is 1.2 million. Same property a couple of years later. So we've been blessed to ride that wave up and put ourselves in a good spot with that and being, the local guys here. So that has helped us also. But one of the failure points I had, I like to talk about failure too, is I got so complacent in working in one area because I was known here and I would go from one house to one to one to one. And I kind of got spoiled. And if that dried up here in Highlands, where was I ever going to go next? So, I kind of failed in the sense of putting my network out there a little bit bigger. And that's why I started to get into some of these circles now and network with bigger groups and, get involved with guys like you and with Mark and with Sean and, do these different things to spread that out and not be all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is that how you heard about the affiliate program with ERC, is getting into these groups? Yeah,
that's a story in itself right there.
Tell us.
Yeah.
So I've only been on an airplane twice in my life. Once I jumped out of it, right? First time ever on an airplane, I jumped out. And then I was with my family one other time. So 2 times ever on an airplane. There was an event going on in Utah for the Lions Den Live. And Mark Evans, this awesome guy, was having an interview for people to go on his private jet. So I was like, oh, I've never been on a jet. What does that even do? And I'll interview. I shot him a message. I love your family, man. We kind of align in the same way. I'd love to be on your jet. What do I got to do? I thought it were free if I won the interview. Well, long story short, Mark Evans calls me. Yeah, you see how much I've never been on a jet, right? So I get a phone call from Mark Evans. He's like, I'd like you to go on the jet with me. I'm like, this isn't Mark Evans. Like, click, I hung up on him. He calls me back. He's like, did you just hang up on me? I'm Mark Evans. Like, what's going on? I hung up again, whatever. He calls me on FaceTime. He's like, I'm like, you need to call me on FaceTime. I don't believe you, man. Really. This is Mark Evans. So he calls me on FaceTime. I pick up the phone. I'm like, it's Mark Evans. Holy crap. I'm like, babe, come here, So he invites me on the jet. I'm like, great. I can't wait to go. What do I do? He's like, he sent me 10, 15 grand. You can come with me. I'm like, ugh, right? All deflated. It is what it is. I chose to do it. That was the start of my big entrepreneurial journey. I said, you know what? If I'm going to invest in myself, if I'm going to listen, I'm going to go. So I go on the jet. Best thing I've ever done in my life was spend that money, to be really honest. So I go on Mark's jet. I meet Mark. What an amazing person, life-changing dude, forever be indebted to him. And all his people were on the jet too. And as we're flying, you know, everyone's kind of chill and laid back. And, you know, Adam and all these guys, they're all sitting like this and hanging out. And I'm Charlie. I'm here. I'm there. I'm all over the place. I can't sit still. And Adam is like, man, if you could sit still for 5 minutes, like I got this really cool opportunity for you. I'm like, oh, great. You know, I'm all fired up. We get off the jet and we start talking a little bit. He tells me about the affiliate program. On the way home from that jet trip, I had 2 deals already signed up. I was so energetic, so excited about it. I was like, yes, let's go. And literally on the way home from the jet, I had 2 ERC deals, and it's history from there.
Dude, I love it, man. That's awesome. There's so much opportunity for both parties. It's the biggest win-win situation I've ever seen with the ERC. But the fact that you're able to really help some folks that could use some capital injection from money that they've already paid in through employment tax. And then at the same time, you get a small kickback for sharing it, because I know so many people have just been told by their CPAs, oh no, you don't qualify, or no, this is not for you. And then you come in and you're like, no, it really is for you. Like, this is something, and if you don't grab it, you're foolish. It's so unreal that it does feel like a scam until you hear of someone like myself that's actually received some ERC money, and you're like, no, it's not a scam. This is legit. The government really is giving money away, and they're actually giving it to the ones that are going out to work.
Yeah.
You're right. Charlie, do you have, sorry about it's so loud in here.
You're good.
Do you get people who think that's that PPL thing?
Yeah, a lot of people.
When I tell people, and I don't sell it, I just told a couple of friends, and they say, oh, that's those guys who were using money to buy Lamborghinis and they got scammed. I don't want to do that. And it's like, I think that's a big barrier.
It definitely is. You know, a lot of people think it's the PPP or all these other things, or it's a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, all these crazy things that you hear. And what really helped me is my business actually received ERC as well. So that was a blessing. Once I had the checks in my hand and I said to guys, like, here's the money, like, look at the actual proof on how much I made as this little guy here or whatever it is. Look at what I have. And I showed them that it was real. Then everyone's like, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this? And well, because you were scared. You didn't take the risk. And, you know, I try to educate everyone as much as I can. I was a little apprehensive at first. I'm not going to lie. Free money, it's based on what you paid already, you know, those things. But once I started listening up, and that it was part of the CARES Act, and, you know, all you had to do was have some supply chain issues and business disruption, and I was able to align with it. I did it right off the bat once I realized it was a real program.
How are you making time for that, since you're doing, I mean, you're a really busy guy. How do you, because you're not just doing it on a low level, you're doing ERC on a big level. How are you making time to do that?
Yeah, so I wake up early. I go to bed late, to be honest. You know, I am an early riser, but for ERC specifically, I'm big on time blocking. I set myself up to where 2 hours of my day are dedicated to ERC. And that's for new people, that's for older people. And we've done so many different things for ERC to where I didn't just try and travel down one lane. I did a lot of different, I spread my web out. And the number one thing that worked for me, just like it worked in my contracting business and my other companies, is the referral base, right? So I really took a liking to helping a couple guys out and then asking them for referrals as much as I physically could, because that took a lot of my time away. The conversation switched from, hey, Kev, I can help you out with ERC. This is part of the CARES Act. It's this, it's this, it's this. It was basically a sales pitch, right? The conversation changed from that to, okay, Kevin, here's the guy I helped. Go talk to him. Or then someone reaches out to you and say, hey, Kev, you got to go talk to Charlie. He got me $100,000. You just got to do a couple quick things and get through them. So now my conversation has totally changed from what the program is, and now it's just how to get through the program. So my time went from an hour with each client to only 5 or 10 minutes with each client. And then I built out templates. Again, I mentioned to you about templates in life, but I have email templates built out for when I meet somebody. I'm able to send them one email and they get everything, the whole process from the beginning to the middle to the end. They're fully educated and informed. They know how to communicate with me. They know the boundaries I have set up already. So those templates help me with ERC as well as they do with contracting.
Are you using some of your office staff to help you do those things? Is it all or is it separate?
I completely separated. It was a goal of mine to where I know there's only so many hours in a day, as you mentioned, and I did not want to take away my team. And I also felt it wouldn't be fair to them to jump into something completely different without a monetary gain. And all of a sudden start going down another road. And, as we know, what you focus on grows. So if I have my team helping me focus towards ERC, yet not focus on general contracting and real estate investing, I'd be taking away. So it really didn't make much sense to me. So I said, Charlie, if you're going to do this, you're going to build this thing out. This is going to be on you. And if you want to build out a team, you got to hire additional staff and additional support. But I've been doing it myself.
I think that's great, because I think the same way as I acquire other businesses and everything. Sometimes I want to pull people that they're already working 60 hours a week for me or doing stuff, and you want to just use them, but it'll create chaos. You have to make boundaries. And I do the same thing with time blocking. I'll just block a time. It's on my calendar and I focus 100% on that. Just like Absolutely. If you go to the gym, you watch people and they're on their phone the whole time. And I've been that guy. Sometimes you're taking 4 minutes in a set because you're texting someone. But when I go there now, it's silent. I don't talk to anybody. If you do that with whatever ERC or whatever other business you're going to do, you can get so much more done. You have Correct. To just say, I don't do anything but this from 4 to 5:30. I don't do anything.
Yeah, correct. It's a non-negotiable for me now, to be really honest. If I'm time blocked, that's it. I won't answer a phone. I won't answer an email. I won't do anything. Only thing that I'm going to do during that time is if my family comes to see me, that's the only thing that I'm ever going to stop for is my wife and my kids or my family. That's it.
I'm the same way. And I do the time blocking for my family as well. So at night I turn my phone off or put it on silent, and I don't message anybody for anything. I don't understand. Like if you're at the park with I got a 4-year-old, random people messaging you on Facebook, like you're stopping what you're doing to do that. Like I just leave it alone. I have my time. I'll go look at it late at night. I do my walk, and that's when I do like anybody messaging me on social media or comments, I'll do it as I walk and I'll knock that out. But yeah, I think the time blocking is massive.
Time blocking definitely has created a completely different animal in me. I'm able to get so much more accomplished in my day because I'm dedicated. And as you mentioned, with a couple different companies and different screens I have here and different interactions, I would be in the middle of one thing and then boop, 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 and I'm high energy. So I'd be like, squirrel, and I'd be pulled away.
That's me.
Where now I'm like, Charlie, get back to it. Like you're in this lane, stay in that lane. And I really try to focus on that stuff.
I started doing it years ago with just emails and stuff. Now I have VAs answer my emails, but I only answer ones that are blue that say Kev reply or something like that. And I only do it for a half hour a day. But I used to have it with like a lot of people where emails are open on your screen and you'll just you stop what you're doing. If you any one of you, if you email someone, a lot of times they reply right back. Like you basically disrupt their whole day.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm a gutter guy. So I think like, you don't have something better to do. Like you can't wait an hour to email me back. They stop what they're doing. They write 3 paragraphs. That's a horrible way to do it. You're just like living in chaos then.
Yeah, totally. You have to leave it away, and you do have to communicate with people, as we mentioned before. But there's a difference. Like I have to set the expectation for people so they understand exactly what's going on.
I want to talk to you more about, when you went to that event, what you felt like. I think a lot of people listen to this. Everyone, you could tell someone, I'm going to pay 10 grand or whatever it was to go on a private jet. You tell your wife or somebody, and a lot of people think it's crazy, right? And they don't get it. I remember when I went in Tim Brotz's annual mastermind. It was 24 grand. I told a couple buddies, like 24,000. Like they go to scam and it's this and everything. And even when I did it the first time, you're thinking of like your ROI. Like, all right, I'm going to put 24 grand, but like, I got to get a deal to pay for it. And when you just, what people don't understand is like, when you do it, it's not really about them. It's about what you bring and your mindset. If you just go in there all in, I'm going to give my best version. I'm going to talk to people and everything. All this stuff will come back to you. I can't even track the ROI on stuff anymore. It's like, it's so tenfold. You meet so many people, so many deals come to you. I turn down opportunities all the time that I can make money on. You get with winners and it just never stops. So what were you feeling like? Was that was your first thing going on that flight?
Yeah, that was my first big event was getting on that flight. I joined a network group here locally, a couple towns away, with about like 30 people, like a BNI chapter type situation. But my first actual mastermind inner circle event was on Mark's jet going to the Lions Den Live for Sean Whalen, which I was also in I joined his inner circle tribe, the Lions Den. And when I went with Mark on the jet, Mark was a speaker then during that event. So we were VIP during that event. So talk about eye-opening experience on a jet for one of the first time ever, but also I was never on planes. I've never been west of Ohio in my life.
Wow.
Here I am on the other side of the country on a private jet, surrounded by wealthy people and VIP backstage, just mind blown, earth shattering experience for me. Absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful I did it. The biggest takeaway for me that I could say is growing up here, as a poorer kid or blue collar, we were always taught that the rich people had this negative connotation to him. If he's driving that car, oh, he must be an ass, or he must have ripped someone off. And I was always told that my whole entire life, like, don't be like those guys. Don't. When I went on that jet, it was completely opposite. I mean, the guys that are actually wealthy, not that want to be wealthy, that are actually wealthy are the best people I've ever met. Mark specifically and every other person that's in there, they are more givers than takers. And every other person around me is always a taker. So it was such a mindset shift for me that millionaires and successful people and entrepreneurs are not bad people in any way, shape, or form. And there's no reason to stray away from that. I need to go all in on being that.
Charlie, I think that you hit it dead on. I grew up the same way. I grew up in Baton Rouge, a nice place and everything. But the people who had like the Porsches and Mercedes, I don't even know who got it in my head, because I don't think my parents did, but I definitely thought they were kind of evil and bad and like ripping someone off. And like, that was just a mentality. And then that attitude of like, don't discuss money. Like, why do people get so upset of like, it's not like I'm going around asking people, how much do you make a year? I don't care. But like that, you would think you were like saying something horrible to someone. The only people that really care about that, it's because they're not making enough. People who make $5 million a year, they'll tell you, yeah, I do ERC, I build homes, and yeah, I cleared 5.2 million or whatever. They don't think it's a big deal. And that everybody getting all upset and not wanting to talk about money, it doesn't help anyone.
I don't understand it. I'm struggling with that right now so big, because I want to help so many people, Kev. And I just talk about money because it's money and it's out there. It's so easy to get if you just talk about it and say what you need and you open up and you're vulnerable. So all the time my conversation is, guys, like, I have actually done this. It's not that I've done it and I want to talk about my bank account or my money, but I've done it, meaning you could totally do this. I learned general contracting and building a business, and then next steps of real estate investing, and then opened a firework company and bought a flag company and started doing ERC, and then got into sneakers and got into real estate. I did it. So can you. And the money is just a byproduct of all those things that you could do. And you have to talk about it. I mean, it has nothing to do about what I made. I was trying to help out a bunch of affiliates so they have an ERC opportunity as well. I got a bunch of local guys here who are trying hard to take the next step in life. And I said to them, hey, man, look, like, you can make $1 million this year. They're like, yeah, right. You're not making 7 figures on that. I said,
I know.
No, you can, but you got to put in the work, but you can.
Yep. So. That's the same thing as I like to say. I like to use $1 million because that's kind of what I say on this thing. And that's what I say, because it's sometimes it makes people feel uncomfortable, but I'm not saying it about just talk about me. I'm saying you guys can do that. Why not? You could do much more. Be a decamillionaire. Like this idea that like you have to be a landscaper or a painter and everything, and 100 grand or 150 grand is your goal. Why? It's made up. And first of all, don't do that. Don't do all that work and that stress.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For
if
sure.
You're going to do it for 150 point.
No, and that's the thing.
You can
and people, I struggled with not dreaming big enough for a long time, right? I wanted 100,000, then I wanted 150, I wanted 200. And through all that time, with all that work, I only gained 100. Not only, listen, I gained 100,000, whatever it was. The bigger dream now gets me just to my goal faster. Like I just limited my own dreams for no reason. Now, once I just started dreaming bigger and being around guys like you and different guys, makes you think bigger, makes you dream bigger, and it makes it that much easier to actually make the money. You know, I feel like when you're only searching for 100,000, you're going to get to 100,000 and redo a plan again, rather than shoot for 10 million and you're working towards your plan the whole entire time. So I tell people all the time, you have to dream bigger, really big. You have to dream big.
And what everybody does, especially blue collar. So say they're making 100 grand. And then they make this big goal. They're going to make 150. All they do is do 50% more of the same stuff, work later, beat themselves up more. But when you say, I'm going to make $1 million a year, you can't do 10X. So you have to figure out things like you're saying. You have to create, all right, I got to get this super systemized. I got to get templates. I got to leverage other people's time. I got to think bigger channels of marketing. You just have to reverse engineer it, and you'll start answering those questions for yourself. You're still going to be at work all day. Why not go make $1 million or $2 million? Like, why make, even there's people who make 40. They're still there all day. It's just like thinking different. But that's the mentality of most people. They're going for these $10,000 raises. They basically just do the same thing a little more. You got to think, how would I 10X this? And then you have to back out, and all of a sudden you got to change everything.
Absolutely. I mean, once you change your mind to it, all just kind of flows with it. The second I started dreaming bigger and thinking bigger about everything changed drastically for me. The opportunities started falling into line. The relationships started to fall into line. My happiness fell into line with it. It gets you there so much faster and so much happier.
Charlie, I'm going to be down in, I haven't said it yet, but it's probably going to be in like 3 weeks. I'm coming to Manasquan. I'm bringing my son, going to see my mom, so she can spend a little time with them. And I love to connect with you, come by your business, or that would be a good time for us to come, and maybe you come over to my mom's and we check out the kitchen and everything.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I love connecting with DM guys. There's a few New Jersey DM guys. Guy just messaged me last night from Nutley. Yeah, and was asking me about stuff. Anytime I see a DM Alliance guy or something, and they message me, I always message them back right away, because I know that they're investing in themselves. They're thinking big. Yeah. I met so many great guys doing it, yourself included.
They are. It is such a powerful group in so many different ways. Outside of having Mark Evans there to bounce ideas off of, just every other person in there has so much value to add, and they perform at such a higher level. As you mentioned, they are investing in themselves, and they're not going to just let a relationship dwindle, or they're not going to perform half-ass. The guys in that group, they're going all in every single day. Same thing. My phone rang right before this. I was on the phone with Silvio, and I talk to guys every single day, all day. Silvio's literally turned to my best friend. It's so funny. We're on the opposite sides of the country, and I would feel like he's literally sitting with me right here, right now. Awesome.
He's a great guy. I put a post up at the end of last year, and I said, anybody wants to do an hour call, it's $500. We'll donate it to the Children's Hospital here in Atlanta, and I'll match it. And he jumped on it, and we had a great call. And we became buddies now. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, definitely a really good dude. We go through a lot of stuff. we were all on our journey, this growth journey. And, you know, the good thing for us too is Silvio is a general contractor as well.
Yeah.
He builds beautiful homes out there in California. So we connect on that base. And then on our growth journey, same way Silvio was actually on that jet trip. So we met on the jet. Yeah. So it was very, very interesting to see how we both kind of jumped in, and then we joined the alliance together, and like, it's awesome.
There's a lot of players. I love being in the deal maker. And I don't, when do you guys have an event coming up? We have one in Cleveland coming up.
Yes, we will be going to that one too.
Okay. That would be great to see. How does everybody reach you, find you on Facebook, Instagram?
My Instagram is my name, Charlie_LaRue_. Easiest way to find me on Instagram, and on Facebook, it's Charlie LaRue as well.
Charlie, it was great having you on. I'm gonna send you a text, connect with you, and we'll talk about that other stuff. Thanks a lot for coming on. How do guys so guys can also reach out to you for ERC? What's the best way to get into those places?
Yeah, you reach out to me on Instagram. It's easy. If you wanted, charlieserc.com is the link that I have to go on there. Or if you kind of want just to have all of my contact information as one, if you go to char-ron.com/Charlie. So char-ron.com/Charlie. And that'll bring you up everything. All the companies I mentioned, the fireworks, the flags, the ERC, the sneaker store, you name it, everything's on there except for my social security.
All right, Charlie, thank you so much for coming on. And we'll sign off. And everybody, if you're thinking of getting an ERC loan, you think you might qualify, just reach out to Charlie. He's going to take it super easy to find out.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kev. I appreciate everything, man.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.